Obviously, I should have done this. I'm gonna be real with you. I should have done this video like during mid-season when 2K26 was in its mid-season, but it's current gen, so I don't think not that many people is gonna really matter. So this might be the better time for present. But anyway, 2K7 is by the time you're listening to this, 2K7 might be a couple days of coming out. It should be coming out soon, and obviously, um, I've been playing on current gen still to this day. So when I found out that 2K27 is not going to have no current gen, I wasn't surprised because honestly, I thought that was going to be last season, and I kind of like prepared myself for like that on 25 with the builds I had for last season. I said, okay, if I'm going to run, I got some builds to run. But 26, obviously at current gen, and although it was the same game, it was still fun. And I'm not gonna lie, yeah, they changed the badges, but most of the course it's the same thing. You still got your tier list badges. You still got the setup build from like 22, and so they didn't really change a lot. They just tweaked a little bit. They gave you tempo. They still kind of like mess with it because they gave you tempo shooting. They gave you like little different animations, but and most of the stuff, and they just gave you a game, which I expected them to do because obviously you have a PS5. You need to more focus more on your PS5. You don't really need to regurgitate a PS4 game. Now, how do I feel about it since, I still have a PS4, even, and don't get me wrong, I could play next gen. I have a PC. Obviously, I game on PC. Majority of my friends play on PC. But how do I feel about it? I said, well, it's about time. Like the one thing I agree with the Black Okage is sometimes you don't need to be focused on the last gen. You need to start focusing on the next gen to make sure the game is better. So 2K27, since they don't have current gen no more, you can now focus on the game for the future game to make sure that game is better. Is it going to be? I'm not sure. Knowing 2K's practices and how they handle things, I'm pretty sure we're still going to be complaining about something. But how do I feel about the current gen? I feel like, tell you the truth, current gen is, in my opinion, has always been better than the next gen games. Yes, next gen is better to look at. The players are better to look at. Hell, they even animate better. But 2K26 on the current gen and even 2K25 was a better game in my opinion. Where everybody was complaining about the cheese that was going on in 2K in the next gen, in the current gen, we wasn't having that problems. Especially when it's current gen still had momentum dribbling, had a lot of speed boosting. Yes, 2K26 on the current gen had they had their cheese, but at the same time, you really deal with the cheese unless you had proper good defense. Now this game, the only thing I had problem with was the rebounding because even if you had good rebounding, your player wouldn't rebound all the fucking time, which kind of like got on my fucking nerves. Unless you like put them in the 90s, but maybe that's just how I built my player. But all in all, I still got good builds in there that carried me to a bunch of wins. The game to me, the gameplay has always been smoother on current gen, and I think that was always been the advantage. Because when most people do go back to current gen, they always talk about the gameplay. Now, what I hate about when a lot of them review it, the first thing they do, they go to the park. Now, the thing is, it's like for a while, I would say since 2K24, I would say this, or whenever 2K put in the walk-ons, the walk on 1v1s and the walk on 3v3s. A lot of people didn't go to the park no more. That's why most of the park was empty on current gen. And most people, and you don't understand that unless you're on current gen. A lot of people go to the walk on 3v3s and the walk on 1v1s, in which that's where most of your competition is. And that's where most people streak. Now the rec was still rec, but a lot of people like to be, how can I say this? A lot of and this may happen in next gen rec, but a lot of people they don't play team ball in rec, especially the walk on rec. They don't play a lot of team ball. So you got to deal with solo queuing in the rack, and sometimes that's the most agitating thing ever, especially because people think they better than the game. Um, Other than what fades, because everybody just faded. Is like they'll just um uh a lot of people would fade and make their greens. If you was good at fading, then that's what a lot of people did. That was the cheese, and a lot of sometimes you could be in a person's face and they're still green it. And I don't know if that was just a zen or it was just how the game was built. The shooting, because shooting was drastically better in 26 than it was in 25. So sometimes they'll hit stuff in your face and you can just be like, it's bullshit. The rivals thing. I like the rivals thing that they had where you can go and um get extra badge points if you wanted to do it. The only problem I have with that is it was too grindy. Literally had to grind your way to get your the 4 badge points or 8. It's like one for 3v3 and one for the 1v1, and they don't and they don't cross over to your other builds too. So if you trust me, I know this. I did this with my post score. The fact that once you get them badge points, they don't cross over to your other bills. So that means with the other bills, you have to do it again. And like I said, it is a fucking grind that I don't want to. That I was like, I'm only doing this once, and I'm never doing it again. I didn't even do it on 26. I still haven't even got all the palette changes for it because the way the badge list works. And that's also my only gripe about this game is that the tier list badge, which I never liked that system. I wish it would have stuck with the one before that, where you get to pick whatever badge you want for your build, and then you just run with that, like they did in I believe 22. Because I think after 23 they went to the tier list badge system, which no one fucking likes. But I digress. I think if it would have stuck with the whole you could pick your badges, we would have a real good game on 26. But the competition was still there. To me, the games was better. The games run smooth. In my opinion, the games run smoother, except when you have bad lag. When it's laggy, it's laggy, and you know, um, that was just my basketball fix. Now, does this mean I'm going to go to next gen? Probably, probably. But if anything, it has to be on PC because don't really want to get a PS5, especially since PS5 is telling people like you don't own your games anymore. So I don't want to go through that. And then you have the whatever it is they was bullshitting and complaining about. I didn't have to deal with that. That was the one thing I liked about being on current gen. I didn't have to deal with the bullshit that the current gen was complaining about, especially when they was talking about 25 and 26. I was like, damn, glad I was on current gen. So now I'm like, if whatever it is, I got to deal with it as well. So, but also my friends are on, and they've been asking me to jump on that for the longest. But I would say this: the old gen, as people want to call it, current gen, old gen. I think that was an end of an era because I feel like that was probably some. Even though people will not admit it, that was some of the most fun 2K you would ever have, especially 2K19. Especially 2K19, which was my favorite, probably because I was a post scorer and I was dominating as a post scorer. But uh, it had some of the best basketball. Obviously, that generation had some of the best basketball games. Whether you say it's 2K16, you say it's 2K19, um, or whichever one was your favorite. Obviously, this is the end of the era, and I feel like a lot of people are gonna miss this. Now, in my opinion, this next gen, like it has to outdo itself. It honestly has to outdo itself to where, like, people. I still think in 10 years, people will still go and look at games like 2K16 and 2K19 like classics, and nothing is ever going to compare. Like we're 10 years out of 2K16. just think about that. We're 10 years out of 2K16, and people still deem that as one of the most classic 2Ks. So 2K has a lot of things that, and now is really got to like outdo itself. In which I don't think it's going to, because people still going to spend money. People still going to have microtransactions, and people still going to have multiple bills, but still complaining about shit. So I should look for, as far as the PS4, Xbox One era of 2Ks. It was a time. It was a time. It was a time that was had. Some of my best games was on that system, but it is time for a change. You cannot keep harping on the past, and you have to look forward to the future. So, with that being said, I'm probably still going to be playing 2K26, because I feel like if you're going to end off, you can at least end off there. But I'm not doing the rivals thing, because I'm not grinding that shit no more. It's not worth it. Like, even though I like doing the rivals, the rivals part, it's not worth it. I still get good games. I still get good matches. Just go to the walk on. And if, by the way, if anybody wants to just see what it's like without having spending money, I will lend you my builds. I got 4 fun builds that you could play as, that you would like. So just holler at me. If you see this, just holler at me. I will give you my bills, and you can run through 2K26 however you want to. You can talk shit about it. That way, you don't have to put money on it, and then you could just experience it at least. You can at least experience it from a high, from a 99 built a 99 built my player instead of a 60 overall. So I'll just leave it at that. Let me know what you guys think. Till then, my name is Oskino Fly, and I'm out. Peace.
Well, I might just get out of the game. I don't think I'm enough. I'm gonna play Blackout.
Back out, back out. Open this up.
Come get it, come get it.
I got the ball back, nigga. Stop shooting, nigga.
Hey, who got my yo-yo-yo right here?
Shot.